Yo, we back in the flesh, man. So my brother from another mother, no other. Don't look like Danny Glover, but keep it cool for us. Man, tell them where they can find you at, bro.
Hey, Big Game James. You can check me out. I got on Facebook, Big Game James page, and check us out on Silver and Blue Nation. We've been going strong for about almost a year now. It'll be a year, I think, next month. And, if you want to check out the shows, we go live every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on EBSN Online. And we're just talking Cowboys football, trying on the latest and greatest. And you got time to talk on Cowboys football? Hey, come holler at us. We're keeping it real over here.
Come holler at us. And this is the Dallas Prospect Show. We talk about just about everything from A to Z with the Cowboys. And we're going to branch into some more things too as well. If you are a writer, if you write, if you have the ability to look at film and talk over film too as well, hit us up too as well at theDallasProspect.com, where we can see what type of skill set you have to bring you into the mix. So we're looking for talent out there. So if you have those type of skill sets, there will be some things that are coming into the mix so you can join the team and get things going in the right direction. But now we can get things going. We have Darreck too as well in the house, but he's going to be in the background. He's doing his thing too as well. Darreck, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
See, he's here.
See, he like UKC, so he really gonna talk a lot tonight.
y'all see that mic when he talk. Y'all see when you see the mic, that's him talking. Okay.
He's diabolical.
All right, so let's get this thing going.
I mean, you already know what the topic of the day is right now. They're talking about their franchise and DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, that's the biggest thing that's going on right now. We were just talking about it before that I posted on my page, my Big Game James page, and I just put thoughts. What do you think about franchising him and then possible long-term deal, but franchising him for this year? And I was just hearing a lot of people were just like suspect on DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, they felt like he only had 1 year. They didn't want him really to take up the cap space because it is a guaranteed $17 million. So it is going to take up more cap space rather than a long-term deal. We can spread it out and you'll have more money to use. So a lot of people, I guess, are frustrated because maybe we can't get a free agent or free agents that we want if we tag him, because that's a guaranteed $17 million. But at the end of the day, if we really look at it, DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean, it's really been the injuries that's really hurt him. I've been critical, but if you really look, it's been the injuries that's really hurt him. When he's been healthy, he had 8 sacks 2015. He had a couple big sacks in the playoffs his rookie year. And then, yes, it's just like us having a job, Law. If you're at a job, right, and you're performing, you're okay there and there. And then basically your job is like, okay, you want to get a big bonus, you got to really work hard. So guess what? That 1 year or that month or two, you go hard and you perform because you want the money. It's just like any other job. So it's why we can't really get mad at DeMarcus Lawrence saying, oh, he just doing it for a contract. Well, wouldn't you do it as a person or a player too? You trying to get your money. It's your 4th year. If you don't ball out, you don't get paid. It's a quick league in a year. You can be gone next year and they never see you again. So they do have to get their money. So yes, he is going to try to ball out to get paid. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now I'm going to tell you what my thoughts is on this D-Law situation. Don't call me a scaredy cat, but it's one of those things where I'm sitting here saying that every time we pay a man, every time we pay somebody with the Cowboys, I don't know if it's a black cloud, or I don't know what if we curse, but something happens outside of the offensive line. Something happens. I remember when we paid Miles Austin, what happened? I remember when we played. I'm talking too fast. I remember when we paid Rocket Ismail. Y'all remember him? That's way back. I ain't going too far back. Y'all remember when we made the move and got Roy Williams? I remember Joey Galloway, the other Roy Williams, the safety, when he got his second contract. This type of stuff, man, I don't know what it is with my Cowboys. And I can throw in Tony Romes too as well, when we paid him that $105 million contract. He played, 3 games and broke his collarbone or something like that, or broke his pinky. I just can't remember what really happened, but we paid the man the money, then all of a sudden. And we saw what happened with Desmond Bryant. We gave him the money, and then what happened? So I don't know if whether or not you pay D-Law, if he's going to stay together, if he's going to show you the same type of production. I'm saying, like, here, man, I may have to say, I don't know, man.
No, you got to
break
do
it down
it.
to me. Break it down to me, man. Scared money, no money. I know it say scared money, no money.
You can't do that because see, here's the problem. If you're thinking that mentality, then it's the same mentality everybody's frustrated with Stephen Jones or why we don't go out there and get free agents because we're worried about, oh, are they really the real deal? We don't want to put that money in you and then you fail us and then next thing you know we're stuck. Yes, you got it. You worry about it. But at the end of the day, we've been screaming about having a war daddy. We've been screaming about having a player that can make a difference. And now we have a player who got 14 and a half sacks. He had 1 year where he did have 8 sacks as well. Now we have a person who's a war daddy who's still only 25 years old, going into 26. He's not like he's old, he's young. So yes, hey, if they're going to tag him, let him. This is another prove-it-year deal. If he comes in and balls out again, then hey, he deserves to get his money. And now we have a solid war daddy. And now we don't have to worry about one side of the defense. And now we can concentrate on building up Taco. We can concentrate on those other people because now we have him set in stone. These other teams do it. You can point to Olivier Vernon when he came over from Miami. He played 4 years. He only had 1 good year, I think double-digit sacks, and he's the highest-paid defensive end in the league.
So what Olivier Vernon stats look like? I'm not a stats muncher, but what does his stats look like last year? I have to say this.
I ain't got to check him. I don't think he wasn't a big time. Darreck might know.
Yeah, so for his last 2 seasons in New York combined, he has 14 sacks. So Lawrence has 14 and a half last year alone.
But then again, 14 sacks. That is pretty.
By the way, they have the same agent, Lawrence and Vernon, and the salary cap from the time that Vernon signed his deal to Lawrence signing his is going to be 15% higher. So they're going to angle probably around that $17 million per year, and that would be probably in D-Law's mind being a little generous.
Man, I just don't know, man. I want the fans, the people out there who support the Cowboys from A to Z. I want you guys' thoughts, man. Whoever watching this video, I want you guys to post. Do you really want to reach into your pockets to pay D-Law, or do you really want to say, hey, prove it to me 1 more year, let me know, put it in the comment box or chat box or however you want to put it. But me personally, what else do we have out there as an option? And I'm not saying get rid of D-Law because I love D-Law's skill set. And trust me, I was one of the guys. I'm going to sit and I'll raise my hand and say, I doubted him. I doubted him just like I'm doubting him. You did too. So
I doubted him too. I was very critical of him this year because he was the main one jumping out there saying, I'm a 10-sack guy. He said it in preseason training camp. He said he was a 10-sack guy. And I wrote an article about him on my page about, you know what, show us, because you only had 9 sacks in 3 years. So you do need to prove it. I don't want to hear no more talking about what you're going to do. Go out there and prove it. And guess what? He went out there and proved it. And even though it was a contract year, he still went out and proved it because there are players that in a contract year, they don't play as good or they don't make it or they show what they are. So at the end of the day, yes, we probably are worried because back injury or like I said before, we can't look at it like, well, he hasn't been producing. When he's been healthy, he has produced. What we have to look at is his injuries. And that's the biggest thing. I don't think that you can say he hasn't been productive when he's been healthy, because when he has been healthy, he has been productive.
I'm trying to find an argument, but I just can't pull it out. Maybe I can only go by past history, right? And I can only go by. We were burned by the big free agent pick with Brandon Carr. We was burned by Brandon Carr.
But here's the thing, though, Law. Go ahead,
talk to me.
Think about it. Brandon Carr came from West, a small school,
right.
And he really didn't. If you really look at his stats, he didn't have tremendous stats at Kansas City. I mean, 3 or 4 interceptions. He wasn't dominating. The problem was we were fiending, just like what happened with Byron Jones. We were fiending for that corner. So as soon as somebody came out of free agency that was decent, we're going to pay him because we just need to put that position so everybody can kind of be quiet. Because remember how everybody was yelling how we needed a corner? And then that's why we went out and got Brandon Carr. So we overpaid him because everybody's saying we need to go get a corner. And they just jumped out there and grabbed him. The same way with Byron Jones. Byron Jones was not an elite safety at UConn. He was a good corner. But we wanted to push safety so hard. We needed a safety so bad. He looked so good at that combine. Okay, we got our safety now. Everybody shut up.
Yeah, so D-Law, obviously with him, he's had the 2 back surgeries, but he's still 25 years old. My thinking is whether you're doing the franchise or a long-term deal, he's wanting $17 million. If you franchise him, you're basically paying that anyway. I would like to see one more year out of him before shelling out a big contract. But if they do lock him up and it's a little bit like the structure of it is a little bit team friendly as far as being backloaded on the money, then I'm okay with that at that point, because again, at 25 years old, even if the back is a little bit of a concern, you're not talking about a guy who's 28, 29 right now, and you're trying to imagine him being still explosive and having that same leverage and bend, in year 3 and 4 and 5 of the contract.
Well, let me ask you guys this question right here, right? This is just us going back at revisionist history of this. Didn't we try to make that gamble with Tyron Crawford? Was that the same scenario, but we just jumped on the gun and paid the man the year before he was able to was up for his contract? It's kind of like if we made the money or made the move for a long-term contract with D-Law previously, like 2016 or what have you.
We also messed up Crawford by moving him around positions all the time.
That's the problem we did with Crawford. We should have just kept him at D tackle, 3-tech, D tackle, and we should have left him there and not touched him no more, because that's where he was doing good. When he first came out of Boise State, they had him at defensive end, remember? And he wasn't doing good. Remember, he was always just getting there. He was almost getting there, almost getting the sacks. Crawford was almost getting the sacks. They moved him to the inside where he was quicker and he could use his quickness because he didn't have that speed off the edge. You even watch him now. He doesn't have that tremendous speed off the edge. He's a very try-hard person, but he does have a quick first step. So they slide him in at the 3-tech, and then you saw potential. So then they're like, okay, he's looking good, he's young, let's go ahead and throw this money at him. But then you start moving him at defensive end, then you put him at tackle, defensive end. Now it makes it look like he's not the player that he could be, because you're moving around too much. And just like what we're talking about, they don't want to move around Layout Collins. They want to put him in a certain spot. Because why? Because it messes you up. Just like when they're talking about with Byron Jones going from safety to corner. They're worried about doing that. So why did you do it with Crawford if you're worrying about doing it with Byron Jones and you don't daggone well? He looks like more of a corner than a daggone safety.
So pretty much, man, break it down to me. What money is D-Law asking for? Is he asking for his counterpart money, the other guy from the Giants? He's asking for the same thing?
He's asking for $17 million per year. That would put him. I believe so. Yeah, I believe that's the word. I don't know if he spelled that out specifically, but I know he's wanting, plenty of security with it. So that would be my guess. In Vernon's case, he got like $52 million guaranteed of his deal, and his was, I think, an $85 million deal over 5 years. So D-Law, I've seen several different estimates for him. Let me try and pull up that note I took earlier on it. There was a couple different kind of predictions on what they thought his contract might end up looking like. Let me find that real quick.
I think you're looking at a 4 or 4-year or 5-year deal. But at the end of the day, when you look at DeMarcus Lawrence, he might end up, let's say he end up being the highest paid defensive end. Guess what? Next year, you're probably not. Every year that you're the highest paid, you're not going to be the highest paid next year, because somebody's going to trump you. So we shouldn't just go out of crazy, because after 2 years, you may be third down the list on being the highest paid. Then you might be looking like a bargain after 4 years. You know what I mean? So just because those numbers look crazy now, those numbers are going to be looking crazy after a couple of years, because somebody's going to catapult you, but somebody's going to ball out and get that money too. I mean, you don't have to produce a lot. As you see, is these contracts, Garoppolo playing 5 games, being the highest paid player, quarterback. Are you serious? So they're going to do it. That's what's just going to happen. Somebody's going to trump you next year.
So I'm seeing predictions with 5 for 77 and another one 5 for 85. These are like the predictions. So the first one would put you about $15.5 million a year. That would be assuming the Cowboys kind of reel in a little bit of that expectation and actually at that point get a friendly deal, I would say. And then the other would be keeping right at his desire for $17 million a year.
That hurting my pocket, and I'm not even paying for it.
Tyron Crawford making 10.
That hurt my pocket, man. I'm not even paying for it. I say it again.
Tyron Crawford making bread.
Yeah.
Tyron Crawford is making bread right now. And I think that's why everybody's frustrated with him, because he's making like 10 million a year, and it's kind of against the cap. But like I said, has it really been his fault? No. Then if they would have kept him at defensive tackle and seen what he could probably do staying there, but they did not. They continued to move him. Now you got Malik Collins. Now it's hard to just keep him there because they couldn't sit when Malik Collins came in his rookie year and balled out. Now there was the dilemma because Malik Collins had to start at the 3 tech. That's what Crawford plays. So now you had to slide him out to the defensive end because we didn't have the other players. And so that's hurting Crawford because Crawford is not an elite defensive end. Those are just the facts.
So with this being said, I'm going to have to say this. What would Bill Belichick do?
He figure it out and he win. He probably make him better. But that's what we lacking too. But that's a subject for a whole nother day.
Oh man, I figured Bill Belichick would figure out a way to get 2 first-round picks of the second round.
He knows
I don't
how to
know.
win on deal.
The Dallas Prospect is doing happy hour. Join us next month, Thursday, March 22nd at Mexi-Go Restaurant Club in Plano, Texas, as we host happy hour and do a live remote and meet and greet. Tell them you're there for the Dallas Prospect and you'll receive exclusive food and drink specials with happy hour pricing for the whole night and entrees as low as $5. In attendance will be Law Nation, Big Game James, Darreck Kirby, and our special guest, Computer from 3-6 Mafia. Shirts and other merch will be available for purchase, so come out, have a drink with your favorite Dallas Prospect hosts, and don't wait. RSVP today. Let's make it happen.